Once upon a time, in a whispering woodland hamlet where ancient oaks leaned in like gossiping elders, there lived a cunning storyteller named Tomas. Oh! He was sharp as a thorn, always weaving lies like silken threads to snag favors, feasts, and fleeting admiration. Truth is for the weary, he chuckled to himself, while shadows feed the sly. But his deceptions piled like autumn leaves, brittle and bound to crunch underfoot. One twilight, as the sun dipped low and painted the forest in bruised purples, Tomas fled to the underbrush. He'd just spun a yarn about a neighbor cursed harvest to swipe the man's cider stash, only for the truth to chase him like baying hounds. Heart pounding, he dove into the thicket and froze. There, in a moon-dappled glade, slunk a sly fox from its burrow. With eyes like polished amber, the creature darted low, setting clever snares of bramble and bait before vanishing into the velvet shadows, unscathed and unseen. Not a whisper of pursuit, just the quiet snap of a rabbit tumbling into its trap. Tomas's breath caught, a grin splitting his face. This, he thought, is the spirit's own wink. The fox thrived not in the harsh light of honesty, but in cunning's cool embrace, hoarding secrets, striking unseen. Destiny had spoken. Embrace the shadows, and the world would lay its bounty at his paws. Emboldened, he doubled down, back in the hamlet. He cloaked himself in taverns and tall tales, peddling fabrications finer than spider silk. Why toil in truth's glare, he'd murmur to wide-eyed listeners, when shadows promise endless harvest? He hoarded whispers like acorns, waiting for trust to tumble into his lap, easy as that ensnared prey. But days bled into weeks, and the forest's whisper turned mocking. His stories, once sparks on the hearth, now sparked suspicion. Doors slammed, invitations soured, and the feast he craved curdled to crumbs. Hunger clawed at his belly, sharper than any thorn, and isolation wrapped him tighter than fog. Crestfallen, Tomas wandered to the hamlet's edge, where a campfire flickered like a lonely star. There sat a blind bard, fingers dancing over lute strings, coaxing melodies from the night. Collapsing by the flames, Tomas spilled his tale in a torrent. The chase, the fox, the empty snares of the soul. The fox danced in darkness, feasting on wit alone, he groaned, voice cracking like dry twigs. The ancestors bless its cunning, yet they've abandoned me to this bite of betrayal. What cruel riddle mocks a man's hunger? The bard paused, his unseeing eyes seeming to pierce the veil of stars. A gentle chord hummed from the lute, wrapping the air like a shawl. Ah, wanderer, he said, voice rich as river loam. The wild's wisdom wasn't etched for sly ambushes or webs of woe. That fox? It thrives on quiet vigilance, hunting with eyes wide to the world's raw truth, not twisting it into knots. The spirits didn't call you to slink in shadows, devouring light. No, Tomas, they forge you to be the light that pierces them. Shine honest tales into gloom, and watch how the forest flocks to your fire, not flees it. Tomas blinked. The campfire's glow suddenly warmer, as if the bard's words had kindled something long dimmed. He rose, not as a shadow, but as dawn's first gleam, and for the first time, his stories began to weave not traps, but bridges. Soft, uplifting music fades, and sometimes, in the dim corners of our lives, we chase the fox's fleeting cunning, mistaking shadows for safety. But here's the spark of truth. Lies may snag quick prey, but honesty forges trails that echo forever. Those clever shortcuts? They're often just detours to empty glades. Pause tonight. Gaze into your own flickering fire. What shadows have you courted, dimming your true blaze? Let this tale be your lantern. Step into the light. Share your unvarnished stories, and ignite connections that feed the soul long after the feast ends. You've got a bard's gift in you. Unleash it, and the world will gather round. Thanks for joining this woodland whisper. If it stirred your spirit, hit the like button to light the path for others, and subscribe for more tales that chase away the dark. Stay true, stay bright. Until next time.